Is it time for recess yet? I'm so glad you found time to join us here on the Childcare Director's Chair, where Erica Sacoccio shares her best practices that she's refined through her passion of directing childcare centers over the last 23 years. From parenting interaction, systems to save you time, money, and stress, to profitability. She shares it all from the Childcare Director's Chair.
Two years ago, I hit record with nothing but a mic, a dream, and a heart full of stories. I had no idea that moment would grow into a movement. A community of leaders, dreamers, and educators just like you. And today we celebrate what we've built together. Today marks 2 years since we dropped our very first episode. Wow, what an amazing journey it has been. And boy, the growth. Sometimes when I listen to episode 1, it's a little cringeworthy. But we've grown a lot. And from that very first recording to now, we've grown into something I could have only dreamed of back then. And the truth is, I didn't do it alone. You've helped me build this, and I've had the privilege of sitting down with some of the most incredible guests. Leaders in early childhood education, business mentors, conference speakers, and even some of my lifelong idols like Andrea Dickinson. There's so many to name, and directors just like you. I've made so many friends. We've had real conversations, we've shared laughs, we've even shared a few tears together. And I'm so thankful for every moment. But the real MVP of this show is you. It's our listeners. Whether you're a teacher assistant, a lead teacher, or someone who just opened up your first childcare center. Maybe you are looking to expand and take your vision even further. I've received so many messages from you over the past 2 years telling me how much this podcast has helped you grow. And I want you to know you've helped me grow too. This podcast started as a way for me to share what I've learned over the past 26 years in this field. But over time, it turned into something much more. It's a community. It's a movement. A microphone that belongs to all of us. And I mean that when I say my mic is your mic. I'm also proud of myself. While I celebrate all of you today, I also want to take a moment to say something I don't often say. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I've showed up day after day, even when things were hard or when I felt unsure, or when I had a million other things to do, or when I had a cold like last week. But I just kept pressing record. I kept investing in my own leadership growth, and that's something worth honoring. In just this short time, we've launched our own conference with my amazing partner, Noelle, from the Directors Club. I became a John Maxwell certified coach, trainer, and speaker, which was such an amazing community to be part of. I started a new podcast network to support, lead, and grow along other ECE podcasters. Even talked to the folks over at PodFest at putting together the first ECE track and meetup. I secured, so excitingly, 2 weeks ago, secured my first sponsorship with Jackrabbit Care. A huge, huge thank you to them for believing me. And today, the day that this episode drops, I'll be speaking at the Born to Teach conference. And I'll be meeting one of my favorite of all time inspirational speakers, Eric Thomas. It really has been an incredible journey, filled with purpose, alignment, and faith. And I hope my story reminds you that you can do anything with hard work, dedication, and focus, but most importantly, a heart to help others. So let's take a moment to celebrate the past 2 years and what we've done. We have been downloaded over 1,500 cities across the U.S. We've reached listeners in 64 countries and territories worldwide. And next week, we will release our 400th episode, full of love, leadership, and learning. We have featured some of the best most amazing guests, including some of the top voices in early childhood education, like Vernon Mason, like Brenna Richards. So many. I really should have made a list. There's so many. And so many great friends like Kate and Carrie and Princess Shanae and Rashawn and Adriana Bradley. There's just so many. I really can't name them all. Most importantly, my staff who have covered me every Wednesday as I leave the school and come to record podcasts. And my family who have had weekends, nights without me, 14 hours at the podcast studio, making sure I get all my episodes out. My sister, who is constantly my biggest cheerleader. So all of you have just really made such a difference for me. And my listeners, who I've personally connected with, so many of you, either at Zoom, at conferences, in person, and even over the phone, because yes, if you call me, I will answer. I really am reflective right now, and I want to just talk about the power of showing up, because so many of you listen while driving to work, prepping your centers, or winding down after a long day. And I want you to know that matters. There's something incredibly powerful about just showing up for yourself, for your team, and your purpose. And that's what leadership is built on. Not perfection, but consistency. I showed up not knowing if anybody would listen. And you did. And you continue to. And you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to show up and keep going. Now, some folks that I've had on my show do literally the same thing that I do. They're coaches, they're podcasters. We even talk about the same things. But one of the things I'm most proud of is the spirit of collaboration that we have created here. I've seen directors supporting other directors, new owners learning from seasoned leaders, and educators reaching across state lines to help each other grow. This podcast was never about me. It's always been about us, and that's why it's so powerful. There's room for all of us to succeed. There's a strength in community that we're building something truly special here. And every single guest who's joined me has reminded me that our stories matter. Whether they're sharing about their very first classroom or the mistake that turned into a lesson, we grow through what we go through. And this podcast isn't just about sharing strategies. It's about connecting through shared experiences. And that's why my mic is your mic. Your story can be someone else's breakthrough. You know, the journey has been really exceeding my expectations, and I believe we're just getting started. What's coming next? Well, more powerful episodes, more guests, more live moments, more listener stories. We're planning listening meetups at Podfest, where we're going to get together and collab with other ECE podcasters to make sure you find the right place for your voice and your story. Even exploring live coaching segments right here on the show. So we're going to keep riding together. We're going to go even bigger. And I just want to let you know, I am humbled by the love that you've shown me on this podcast. Every message, every review, every email, every tag, every hug, I have felt every single one. To everyone out there who's ever said this episode has helped me or that this podcast gave me clarity, thank you. That's why I do this. That's what fuels every word behind my mic. So if this podcast has impacted you in any way, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, a colleague, or someone who needs a little encouragement on their journey. And if you haven't already left us an honest review, please let us know. That's what we're working for. We love to hear more from you because the truth is, we're only going to get better from here. Practice makes perfect, and love makes magic. So thank you for listening to the Childcare Director's Chair, not just today, but every day you have. Thank you for growing. Thank you for letting me be part of your leadership journey. Here's to the next season of greatness, purpose, and community. Until next time, keep leading with love and never forget, my mic is your mic.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Childcare Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Childcare Director's Chair.